right, hi fourth grade. We are here for chapter 5 of There's an Owl in the Shower, and this chapter is called Kidnapped. Okay, here we go. The owlets were out of the nest too soon. Under normal conditions, they would have fluttered to the ground in mid-June and taken short flights to low limbs. There, they would have sat while their parents fed them for another month, or until they could fly and hunt on their own. Their growth and skills were carefully timed to fit into the forest life. These young were off schedule. They were not even old enough to have developed the instinct to get off the ground. They just sat in the rain, wide-eyed and hungry. The big female owlet saw a dry shelter under an enormous log and hopped toward it. A pine marten saw her and leapt down from a limb. Owlet feathers burst into the air as the pine marten killed her. The male owlet wiggled under the arbutus leaves and sat still. Before daylight, he shook the rain from his wings, making just enough noise for his mother to locate him. She flew to the ground with a morsel of food in her beak. He reached for it, but she did not feed him. She hopped a few steps and dangled the food again. The owlet followed her until she lured him out of the flowers to the base of a rhododendron bush. She climbed up to it and dangled the morsel. He climbed after her, using beak and claws. The mother owl moved higher. The owlet climbed higher. When she was under a cluster of big leaves on a low limb, she waited for him to join her, then fed him. The owlet closed his eyelids with their lashes of tiny, exquisite feathers. He was asleep as a fog rolled in and dampened the mosses and ferns. About 4 hours later, he heard his father's resounding voice through the vanishing fog. The owlet spread his stubby wings and flew. They could not keep him airborne, and he came down to earth in the arbutus garden. Head up, listening for his father, his eyes adapting to the light, he suddenly felt the ground shake. Turning his head, he looked up at Borden. "Hi," the startled boy said. "What are you doing here?" The owlet blinked and snapped his beak to warn the animal before him that he was a predator. He was an owl. "You all alone?" Borden asked, searching the trees for his parents. He knelt down and examined the fluffy white owlet before him. "You haven't got any spots," he said. "That's good, because if you did, I'd have to shoot you." The owlet sat and stared at Borden. "Aren't you afraid?" Borden asked, charmed by the owlet's bravery. He stroked the wet head. The bird looked at him fearlessly. Borden picked him up. Here's a picture of Borden holding the owlet. Pretty cute. Look at that tiny little owl. "Now, what do I do with you?" he asked, and felt the breastbone of the little bird press against his hand. "Boy, are you skinny." The owlet turned his head upside down to better see Borden. Borden grinned. The owlet looked more like an elf than a bird. He suddenly wanted to take the little elf home. He examined the downy breast feathers carefully. "You're a barred owl," he said. "Barred owls don't have spots. They also have solid black eyes like yours. I'm going to call you Barty, the barred owl." Gently tucking the owlet in his shirt, he found his bike and left the forest. Barty, feeling the warmth of Borden's body, snuggled against him and rested. Together, they went down the mountain. Okay, that's the end of chapter 5. So fourth grade, he found a baby owlet. He didn't kill it. And does anyone want to unmute and comment? Simon, will you do me a favor? Will you just make there be one video of you, bud? I can't see the rest of the class. Same with you, Cameron and Jackson. Remember, this is being recorded, so this will be posted later. Go ahead. Somebody unmute. Anyone want to comment on the end of chapter 5? What do you guys think? Was anyone surprised? I heard